Okay, here we go. So recording has started. So we're going to start on our backs. And if you just take a little time on your own before I start to guide to, you can invoke a yawn and get a little pendiculation going. And just find some nice organic movement. And so stretching long, stretching up through your arms, through the heels. And just really just checking in, how is it right now? How is it this morning or this evening or whenever you're looking at the video? And then we'll take the body into an X shape. And from here, you're going to shear one hip. So you'll shear the right hip up towards the ceiling. That'll bring a little arch into your low back, and then just release back down, and then shear the left hip and release back down. Just kind of go back and forth, a little rocking as you press one hip up and the other hip up, back and forth. Great. And then bring the feet together like Tadasana. Slide the right knee towards the right elbow. So you're contracting the right side body, and then open back up. And then slide the left knee towards the left side body, and open back up. Right knee towards right elbow. Back to Tadasana. Left knee towards left elbow. Back to Tadasana. Just go back and forth there a few times, a few more times. And the next time you come back to the Tadasana, take the soles of your feet to the floor, arms alongside your body, press up into, a bridge shape, and then roll yourself down until you're about to the end of your thoracic spine, and then just let your hips plop down to the floor. Slide the right foot away and let your leg just plop down to the floor. Slide your left foot away and let that leg plop down to the floor. Great. So now we're going to put some of that together. So slide your right knee towards your right elbow. Then come back to center. Slide your left knee towards your left elbow. Back to center. Soles of the feet to the floor. Press up. Roll down. Let the hips plop to the floor. Slide the right leg long and release. Slide the left leg long and release. So when you let everything, when I say plop, I mean let it fall. Don't try to hold it and contract it down, okay? So right knee and right elbow, squeeze in, then back to straight leg. Left knee and left elbow, squeeze in towards one another, then straighten back out. Soles of the feet to the floor. You can take them away from your buttocks a little bit. It's a little bit harder. Press up. Roll down. Release. Stretch the right leg long till it plops to the floor. Stretch the left leg long till it plops to the floor. Good. One more time. Right knee to right elbow. Straighten back out. Left knee to left elbow. Straighten back out. Soles of the feet to the floor. Press up. Roll down. Let the hips plop. Straighten the right leg. Plop to the floor. Straighten the left leg. Plop to the floor. Good. Now we're going to add something. So right knee to the right elbow, then roll onto your right side, bringing everything together. Then open back up, soles of the feet to the floor, press up, roll down, hips drop, straighten the right leg, drop it to the ground, straighten the left leg, drop it to the ground. Slide the left knee up towards the left elbow, roll over onto that side, then open back up, soles of the feet to the floor, press up, roll down, hips release, slide your right leg long, release, slide your left leg long, release. Good. Right knee to right elbow, roll over to that side, open back up, soles of the feet to the floor, press up, roll down, release the hips, right leg long, plop it, left leg long, plop it down. Left knee slides towards left elbow, roll onto that side. Inhale to roll back to your back. Take the soles of your feet to the floor, press up, roll down. So you're almost to your low back, then let your hips release. Slide your right leg long, boom. Slide your left leg long, boom. Okay, now we're gonna do it to the other side. Slide the left, just starting on the other side. Slide the left knee towards left elbow, roll to the left. Inhale, open back up, soles of the feet to the floor. Press yourself up. Roll down one vertebra at a time. Let the hips plop. Extend the left leg long, release. Extend the right leg long, release. Slide the right knee towards the right elbow. Roll onto the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Take the soles of both feet to the floor. Press up. Roll yourself long. Flop the hips down. Left leg extends, release. Right leg extends, release. Good. Slide the left knee up towards the left elbow. Roll to the left side. Inhale, open up. Soles of the feet to the floor. Press up. Roll down. Let the hips release. Boom. Slide the left leg long. Release. Slide the right leg long. Release. Good. Then slide the right knee towards the right elbow. Roll onto your right side. Inhale, open back up. Soles of the feet to the floor. Press up. Unfurl your body. Let the hips go at the end. Left leg reaches long. Plop it down. Right leg reaches long. Plop it down. X shape once again. And take 2 breaths here. 2 breaths in this X shape. Good. Now come back to the Tadasana and inhale, reach your left foot up and just point your toes away and then reach across your midline and let your toes, not your hip work in your hip, but your toes bring you over. So you can just touch your toes on the floor. So you're in a twist with the left leg coming over the midline and then just unwind back to the starting position. Then reach your right foot up, reach the toes away, and then reach the toes across your midline. Try not to have your hip do the work, but reach the toes until you can land in the flower bed here. That's where I am. And then unwind back to the center. Let your leg just plop down at the end. Lift the left leg, point the toes, reach the toes across midline. Let your toes reach, and kind of pull you into this little twist. And then come back and let your leg just plop down. Okay, really good for our bones to let the bones just heavily plop to the floor. Lift the right leg, point the toes, come across midline, reaching with your toes. Let the toes pull you to the twist and then come back and boom, let the leg just plop down to the floor. One more time in each direction. left leg, reach across, then roll back. Take your time and flop the leg down. And then right toes, reach across, come back and plop it down. Good. Take the soles of the feet to the floor and windshield wiper softly, knees back and forth. Windshield wiper, knees back and forth. Good. Then take your feet parallel to one another. And either grab the edge of your mat and pull yourself up, roll to one side, or you could take your ankles and cross at the ankles and just play with a little momentum. Maybe do some rocking the whole length of your mat. Until you can come up to a seat. Great. Okay. Now from here, from your seat, take a reverse table. So the fingers point back towards the buttocks and you press yourself up. Good. Now turn your right hand the opposite direction and flip yourself over to downward facing dog. Inhale, come to your knees to cow. Exhale, drop your forearms and reach your hips back towards your heels, child's pose. Inhale, come to cow. Slide your right arm underneath your left arm and come all the way down, sliding forward and roll back onto your belly. Rock yourself up to the seat. Fingers point back towards you, come back to reverse table. Turn the left fingers the opposite way and swing over to downward dog in the other direction. We'll try this a couple times, so no worries if it didn't feel super smooth. Inhale, come down to cow. Tops of the feet to the floor. Exhale, elbows to the floor first as you bring your hips back to your heels. Come up part way, slide your left arm underneath your right, then slide your right arm forward. You just come down and open up onto your back. Very good, everybody. Great. So now cross at the ankles, rock yourself up to a seat. Bring your hands behind you, press into reverse table. The fingers are pointing towards the heels. Turn the right hand in the opposite direction and roll yourself over into downward facing dog. Inhale, drop to cow. And exhale, elbows to the floor, hips back to the heels, child's pose. Slide your right arm underneath your left and kind of come forward until you can roll yourself back onto your back. Excellent. Let's try the other side one more time. Cross at the ankles, rock yourself up to a seat. Bring your hands behind your buttocks and press up into reverse table. Turn the left hand in the opposite direction and flip yourself over to downward facing dog. Inhale, drop to your knees, come to cow. And now exhale, just set your hips back on your heels. Okay, so setting back on your heels, or if you want to, taking a block and coming into Virasana with the block, or you could sit in Sukhasana as well. Okay, all right, so well done, everybody. Here we go. So now take your, if you have glasses, you'll need to take your glasses off and just rub your hands together, create some heat. And then cup your hands over your eyes. About 2 breaths here, just relaxing the eyes before we get started with the eye exercises. And release your hands down to your lap and looking straight ahead, eyes neutral. And as much as possible, line up your ears over your shoulders. Right? And then take your eyes to the right, just your eyes. Back to center, to the left. Back to center, to the right, as far as possible. Back to center, to the left, as far as possible, and back to center. Good. Take your eyes up and then down. Look up and look down. One more time, look up and look down. Come back to center, just relax. Now look up at a diagonal in one direction and down in a diagonal in the opposite direction. When you come through center, just pause and then do that 3 times. So up at a diagonal in one direction, come through center, pause, and then down in a diagonal opposite direction. Great, then you come back to center and then go the other way. Up in a diagonal, center, down, up, center, down. One more time. Good. Now, with the eyes focused straight ahead, circle the eyes around in one direction. So up, and then like you're tracing the face of a analog clock. Go 3 times really slowly. And then reverse the direction. Three times really slowly. Then rub your hands together and cup your eyes. Great. Release your hands down to your lap. We'll work a little tension around the mouth. So draw your lips over your teeth and open your mouth into an O shape. And release. 2 more times. Now draw your lips away from one another. So top lip up and bottom lip down. Feels a little weird. Now grit your teeth and grin at the same time. All your neck muscles will be very extended. Release. 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 Good. Now purse your lips and lift both lips up towards your forehead. Take your tongue to the inside of your left cheek and then to the inside of your right cheek. Back and forth. Release. Reach the tip of your tongue towards your nose. And then come forward to lion's breath. Back to center, reach the tip of your tongue towards your nose. And then lion's breath. When you do the lion's breath, take your gaze up this time. Tip of the tongue towards the nose. Lion's breath. Good. Come back to center. Release. Resting still in this position. take your left ear towards your left shoulder. Back to center, right ear towards right shoulder. Back to center one more time in each direction. Back to center, draw your chin back like you're giving yourself a double chin and do the same thing. So the back of your neck is really long and extended. Then rotate head to the left, back to center, rotate head to the right, back to center, rotate head to the left, keep the chin pulling back in. Good. Now, if this feels okay for your neck, you'll take the head around in a circle, keeping the back of the neck long. So I don't reach my head back too far, but back, but keep the back of the neck long, and then just circle around in one direction. And then once you go once or twice in that direction, take it in the opposite direction. And then from here, we're going to come forward onto our hands. Okay. And then on your exhale, draw your navel up and in, kind of around your back. Get all the air out. Inhale, lift your collarbones up, forward. So you're kind of like doing a little cat-cow here. Exhale, draw your navel back and in. Right. And then you can come off of your prop. If you've got a blanket set down, you probably want to fold that up now. If you don't have a blanket on your mat, still go ahead and fold it up or keep it close for a little future work. Okay. So now standing, just come to standing any way that you want to. You could go through a vinyasa to do that, or you could just stand up. Okay. All right. So let's lift the right shoulder towards the right ear and then let it drop heavy. 3 times. Then the left shoulder. Good. Then both shoulders. Really scrunch them up towards your ears and then let them drop heavy. So really working on releasing some of the tension. So we're not contracting them back down. We're not in control here. We're just letting them drop. Good. Now rotate, take the right shoulder up, back, down, and around. Up, back, down, and around. And go slow enough that you can really feel your shoulder blade moving on your back. Pretty big action. You could be doing this in a chair if for any reason you need to do that, or your knees. And then reverse the direction. Try to relax your arm as much as possible. Good. Let's go to the left side. Up, back, down, forward. Going around in a circle. Other direction. Try to let the shoulder do the work. Good. Then we go both. First in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. release, bounce your heels. Bounce your heels, let your arms, let your hands shake, bounce your heels. Maybe ninja feet, just move a little bit here, bounce back and forth. Good. Then arms come out to the side and back as much as feels okay in your body. Bring in front cross. So you're going to go back and forth with the cross. Could do a little swaying from side to side if that works better for you too. Good. Good. Then bounce the heels. Let the arms go. Bounce the heels. Bounce on one heel. Bounce on the other heel. Bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Good. Now, bring your arms out in front, or your hands. Your hands are going to come forward. Okay, and you want your arms shoulder distance apart. So palms away, and then fingertips down towards the floor, fingertips up. So you're going back and forth with the hands. Good. And then fingers straight ahead, fingers to the right, back to center, fingers to the left, back to center, fingers to the right, fingers to the left. Keep the arms at shoulder distance, shoulder height. Good. Then back to center, rotate both hands in the same direction. Reverse. Back to center, rotate in opposite directions. Reverse. Release. Shake your arms out, bounce your heels. Okay. Hands to shoulders, fingertips to shoulders. And then one elbow at a time, circling back. Leading with one elbow, then the other. Then change and come forward. Then bring elbows together, up, back, and around. Elbows together, up, back. And when you bring the elbows behind you, think about trying to get them as close as possible. So you're really squeezing your shoulders on your back as you come around. Now reverse that. And then release. Just let your arms swing forward and backward. Maybe the feet get involved or the legs get involved. Just swinging the arms forward and backward. Good. And now, same thing with the hands out in front of you, but now fingers are completely spread open. Lift fingers towards the sky, down towards the floor, ceiling, floor. Keep the arms at shoulder height if possible. There goes the train. Good. Then fingers extended still, and turn all 10 fingers to the right. Center, left, center, right, center, left, center. Back and forth. Good. Then rotate. Fingers stay wide and open. Rotate in one direction. Reverse. Work, everybody. Back to center.
Rotate in opposite directions. Reverse that. Release your arms, shake them out, take Tadasana, inhale, arms up, and bend through your knees and come into a forward fold with hands on the shins. Just easy. Then press into your heels, bend your knees and lift. And now you're gonna swim. Okay, you're gonna swim forward. So forward, stroking till you come all the way down to touch the floor in a forward fold. Then you backstroke, back up. Then you front crawl down to the floor. Then you backstroke, back up. Try not to lead with the same hand every time. See if you can switch that up. So front crawl to the floor, backstroke, back up. Good. Great. Then hands to your hips, and you're going to take your torso around in a circle. Bring your torso around in a circle. Make sure your feet are nice and stable, and then switch directions with the torso. Switch directions with the torso. So you're going in one direction, and then switch it. Now you can try to extend the arms up and interlace the fingers, make a little steeple with your index finger, and do the same big circling with the torso. And if this doesn't feel real great, or you feel any kind of like stickiness in the back, you can back off, put your hips back, hands back on your hips, go back to the first version. Then release arms down to the sides. We'll take arms out to a T and inhale to reach through the fingertips. Exhale, bend the left knee, bring the left hand to the left foot. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, bend the right knee and bring right, left hand to right foot. And just go back and forth with that a few times. Just a really basic calisthenics. Actually, most yoga has come from the calisthenic world. Oddly enough, was only a few postures at the beginning. Back and forth a few times. And then you can heel toe the feet together, bounce the heels, bounce the legs, let the arms go, shake it out. Okay, then here we go. So you might want something for balance here. You'll take your weight into your left foot and extend the right foot out and flex and extend at the ankle. Then invert, move the sole towards midline and evert at your ankle. And then rotate in one direction and the opposite direction. Good. Set that foot down. Take the other leg, point the toes, flex and extend. Invert, evert. Your evert might not be super big. Just try to turn the sole to the lateral side of your body. rotate both directions. Good. Set your foot down, bounce your heels. Bounce your heels while you do that same thing we did earlier with the arms. You can get warmed up for downtown sounds. Good. Then take your weight into your right foot again. Extend your left leg out in front of you, pointing your toes, and then flex at your ankle and bring your heel towards your buttocks. So your knee will come back. You'll flex at the knee, extend at the hip, and flex at the ankle as much as possible, right? And then extend. So the hips flex now, and the leg is extended all the way through to the toes, and then pull the toes back, bring the knee back, and bring your heel to your buttocks. So go back and forth with that a few times. Again, if you need something for balance, take it. And then just let that leg swing free. Take the other side. Reach the foot out in front. So flexed at the hip, extended at the knee, extended at the ankle, and then flex the ankle, flex the knee, extend the hip, and bring your heel towards your buttocks. Go back and forth with that. Then set your both feet down, bounce your feet, bounce your heels, and swing your arms. Great. Then with a nice wide stance, bring your right hand to the outside of your right thigh and lift the left arm up. Reach up, really extend out through your side waist, and then come into a side bend on your exhale. Inhale to come back up. Left hand down on the left thigh. Reach the right arm up and extend the waist up. So you're trying to pull more length into the right side body, then exhale into the side bend. Okay, and then at any speed you want, just go back and forth with that a few times. Last set, and come back. And let's put the weight into the left foot now and lift the right leg up. Again, find something for your balance if you want. Circle the foot. Both directions. And release. Lift the opposite leg, left leg, circle the foot. You're drawing a circle on the ground, both directions. And set that foot down. Good. Inhale, come up onto your toes, reach your arms overhead. And as you exhale, drop your heels, bend your knees, come down into chair pose. Then hands to the floor, to the mat, and step your feet back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come to your knees, cow. And exhale, elbows to the floor first as you lower your hips back towards your heels in cow pose. Inhale, come up to cow. Exhale, turn your toes, press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards your hands, set your hips back, reach your hands forward, chair pose again, and press up to Tadasana. Take your right foot forward and your left foot back in a short stance, warrior one, hands to hips. Just really relax, hands to hips. Good, and then lean forward, lift your back foot, pick it up, set it way back, and open up into warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Reach the front arm up, 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 up. Get that length through the side body and tilt into Trikonasana. Inhale, bend through the front knee. Come back to warrior two. Windmill the hands down around the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, drop your knees, come to cow. Exhale, elbows to the floor, hips back towards heels, into child's pose. Inhale, back to cow. Turn your toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet up towards your hands, set your hips back, reach your arms forward into a chair pose, press up, Tadasana. Bring your left foot forward now and your right foot back in a short stance, warrior one. Good. Inhale, you can reach the arms up here, come into the full expression. And then hands down to hips, lean yourself forward, lift your back foot up. Just bring it off the mat slightly, enough to pop it back behind you and come into warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the front arm, and tilt into Trikonasana. Stacking arms if you want. Inhale, bend the front leg, come back through warrior two. Then it windmill your hands down around your front foot, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale to full plank. Press the floor away. And then rock your heels back and forth. Feel the follow through in your body. Press hips up and back, downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to your hands. Bring your hands forward, chair pose, and press up, Tadasana. Okay, this part you might want your blanket for. Some will do with, some will do without. So your blanket, you just want an edge here to get your heels on. And then we'll come into a squat. Okay, on the exhale, take your hands to the floor and press your hips up. And inhale, come back into the squat. And then go back with hips up. And then drop hips down into the squat. Hands to the mat, step back up. Hips back up. Good. And just go back and forth a few more times here. Next time you're in the squat, just bring your arms around the knees, tuck your chin. Let your hips be heavy here. If you need to be sitting on something, that's fine as well. And then we'll drop buttocks to the floor and take our legs in either Sukhasana or the fire pose with one ankle stacked on opposite knee. Your sensation might be just enough right here sitting. If you're in the Sukhasana or lotus, you can come forward slightly and feel that into the outer hip. Then dropping or taking both feet to one side, take a twist in the opposite direction. Spiral, resting your hands behind you, switch your legs opposite side and twist away from the feet, away from the direction that the feet are in.
Then back to center, and here you can just take your legs out in front of you, and you can lower through a full Navasana if you want, or just take your hands behind your legs and roll yourself slowly down to the floor. Bring these into the chest at the end. Anything else you need, another twist or a happy baby. Otherwise, come back to that big X first. Come back to the big X first. And just slowly pump through one heel and the opposite heel. And then slide feet, soles of feet to the floor, a couple of windshield wipers. From your windshield wiper position, slide the right heel forward until you can plop your leg down. Left heel forward, plop the leg down. Press the back of your head into the mat and gently tuck your shoulder blades underneath, and take any position with your arms for Shavasana. If the leg's long don't suit you today, bend your knees, soles of feet to the floor, rest your knees together, or take your feet up on a piece of furniture, or go to legs up the wall. But now you let go of all effort. Softening around the eyes. Softening around the mouth. Letting gravity really just be your friend here. So really let everything sink into the floor. So we're gonna just work a little bit of breathing here. Okay, so taking your hands, one hand to the lower belly and one hand sort of to the lower chest. On your start with an even inhale and exhale. So count to 4, count to 5. Feeling your belly breathing. Belly rising on the inhale, exhale. Releasing all the air. Now, after your next inhale, just pause at the top of your inhale. Then exhale. And pause after the exhale. Continue that pattern. So same count for inhale and exhale, but there's a pause at the end of the inhale, at the end of the exhale. Now, in your mind's eye, you're going to form a box with your breath pattern. So the inhale will take you up one side. Pause the equal length of the inhale to take you across the top. Exhale down the other side of the box. And the pause for the same count on the bottom of the box. So you're tracing a box. Each side is inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And it can be a 3 count, a 4 count, whatever works for you.
Great. Now elongate the square into a rectangle. So now that both the inhale and the exhale are lengthened, and the pause is the short end of either end of the rectangle. So if you were doing a 3 count or 4 count, make it 4, 5, or 6 on the inhale and exhale. Great. Now, without closing down your nostrils, you don't need to close down your nostrils. Just imagine or attempt to take the inhale through the left nostril and out the left nostril. Exhale out the left nostril. Just see if you can get that pattern first. Inhale through the left nostril and exhale through the left nostril. And now one last thing. You're still going through the left nostril, but elongate the exhale. So the inhale, maybe 3 or 4, the exhale, 4 or 5 counts. If you get dizzy at all or lightheaded, just go back to an even count. Last 2 rounds. And then let go of the intentional breathing. Relax the space around your eyes. Relax the spaces around your mouth. Feel the back of your skull against the floor and let the back of your skull spread open. Feel the contact of your whole back body against the floor and see if you can let that space just flow open. Soften your hands from the inside out. Soften your hands again from the inside out. Soften your feet down to the tips of your toes. Taking in the sounds of your room, your space, far away, close up, like listening to a symphony. And then from here, just slowly rolling to one side. Take about 5 rounds of breath on one side. And you can press yourself up to a seat. And take your arms out wide, your hands out wide. So extend the arms out to the side. And then slowly bring your hands together in front of you, just really slowly until you can just bring your fingertips together. Bringing that right in front of your heart center. Let's inhale here. Open mouth, exhale. And we'll inhale. We'll do 3 ohms together. Om. Blessings for the day, my friends. Namaste. And thanks for joining in.